In this video today, I'm going to show how to engrave this design onto a piece of acrylic using the Cricut Maker and the engraving tool. So let's begin. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is create a blank or a representation of my acrylic blank. And this is the one I've already created, and I'll show you how I went about creating it. I first measured my acrylic blank from point to point along the width and from the top to the bottom. And so I went to shapes using a hexagon because that is the shape of my blank. I'm going to change it to a draw. And I want to change the width to 3.625 by 3.125. So I'm going to unlock it and change it to 3.625 by 3.125. And then I'm going to lock it again so that it doesn't change. Now the base that I'm using, the blank will sit 1/2 inch into the block. And so this is what this line is right here. That represents how far this blank is going to sit in the base, the color base that it's going to sit in once it's finished. So I'm going to add another shape, and I'm going to add a score line. And then I'll just rotate it so that it's rotated 90 degrees. And then I'm going to put this at a 1/2 inch mark, about right here. Then I'm going to change that score to a draw. And I'm just going to select this whole thing here. And let's see. I was hoping to be able to slice it, but I guess what I'll do is just resize it so that it doesn't stick over. So just like that. Then we're going to take these two and we're going to attach it so that that is the same now as this. So now we have our blank to put our design on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to Images. I'm going to go to Cartridges. And I will search on crafting. And then I'll look down to see what looks interesting. Maybe this one. Let's look at the images in this cartridge. The little A up here means that these are all included in the monthly subscription of Cricut Access. And so I'm just going to look down through here and see which one of these I want to engrave on my acrylic blank. And maybe Craft Queen. Let's look at this Craft Queen, and then I'll select it and insert images. Now I'm going to size this so that it fits in my blank, and you want to take into account how much it's sitting down into your display case. And so we could maybe make this just a tiny bit bigger. And then I'm going to change the line type to Engrave. And I'm going to come up here to my original blank here, and I am going to just hide that so we're not confused. So we've got our Craft Queen that is centered in our viewable area, which is right here. And at this point, we are ready to make it. And so we're going to click on Make It. Oops, let's cancel. Let's move our blank out of the way, select this whole thing, and we need to attach it so that it's not separated. And then we can come here and we can go Make It. And where I am going to put my blank on the mat is at 1, 1. And so the top of the blank I'm going to put at the 1 down, and this left point I'm going to put at the 1-inch mark. And then I'm going to put the item I'm going to engrave, position it in there about where I want it to be. And I'm going to want to engrave from the back of the acrylic blank. So at this point, I'm going to mirror it. And now that I've positioned my design, I don't need the representation of my blank anymore. So I'm going to select the hexagon, click on these 3 dots in the upper left corner, and I'm going to hide the selected. So all we've got now is our design, and I will go Continue. And it's looking for my maker. I'm going to browse all materials. And I'm going to come down here to acrylic thick 2 millimeter. Even though the acrylic I'm using is 3 millimeter, we'll set the 2 millimeter and click Done. And now we will go set up everything for our maker. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is change out our cutting blade. And I'm just going to put it in here for safekeeping. And we are going to put in our engraving tip. So I have my quick release right here, and I will get my engraving tip. It has a number 41 on it, and that's the engraving tip. And so you just push the button at the top of your quick release and push on the tip. Now the back that's open here, you can see part of it is open. That goes to the back of your assembly here. And so I'm going to put that in, making sure the opening is in the back. Okay, and the next thing you want to do, and it's very important, these little white wheels here that you can push out of the way, you want to take them over and push them out of the way, because you're not going to want your acrylic trying to run under any of these little white wheels. So just take them all and push them out of the way. Okay, I have my acrylic blank here, and I have my strong grip mat. The acrylic blank has a little protective covering sheet on both sides. I'm going to take one of the protective sheets off. Now I'm using my Cricut strong grip mat, so I'll take off the protective covering. And I'm going to place this blank the way I did in Design Space, at the top of the blank at the 1-inch mark, and then this point at the 1-inch mark this way. And so it'll be just like this. Then I'm going to take my roller here and just kind of roll it down to make sure it's got a good seal. And now I will feed the mat under these 2 guides on each side, and kind of giving it slight pressure, I'm going to go ahead now and press the blinking load button. And then as soon as the Cricut starts flashing, I will press it, and now it will start to engrave. Okay, the design is finished, so I'll go ahead and eject my mat. And I will carefully remove the acrylic from the mat. Okay, now I'm going to take a dry microfiber cloth and just lightly brush off. And I'll also take the protective cover that I took off of it, and because it's got a little sticky on it, and I will just lift that up. Now I'll also use this because when it engraves, it leaves a little bit of a residue on the roller here, and so I'll just use this to pick up the residue that's left over here. If it doesn't have something that's a little sticky like this, then just use your microfiber cloth to wipe it down. Okay, and now I will remove the protective coating from the back. Okay, and then we can just place our new design in our light up base, and there you have it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.